talk about RehabGym at home, telerehabilitation for stroke patients.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for listening. I'm presenting you the concept of RehabGym at home, telerehabilitation for stroke patients. Most people who have survived a stroke have outcomes that affect the sensomotor, cognitive, emotional, and behavioral components. This leads deficits affect the performance of activity of daily living. That is why one of the greatest skills on our time is to continue developing new forms of therapy to promote the recovery of functional abilities. This is how the telerehabilitation was born. But what is the telerehabilitation? It is defined as the delivery of rehabilitation across a distance using information and communication technologies. The communication between the healthcare therapist and the patient will be mediated by telephone, video conferencing, email, wearable technologies, web-based resources, and this communication, the delay of the communication will be synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous will be when the response, the answer is in real time, so we are talking and getting the answer and response, and asynchronous, where there is a delay of time. For example, in email, you get some hours to respond this patient. Sorry. The delivery of rehabilitation can be seen in three different options. Supplement direct care, as a way of completing the work at the clinic, maximizing the number of repetitions, and so the process of recovery. Maintain goals after discharge, because 70% of the people who work at home end up leaving this kind of tasks due to a lack of perseverance and motivation. And then the last one, it will be to provide direct care in expected situations, for example, COVID, war. Let's talk about some evidence. The first publication of telerehabilitation was made in 1997, and during these past 25 years, the number of publications have been increasing. So, coinciding the highest peak in 2020 and 2021, the COVID years. There's some authors like Laver and Sarfo, that has shown in the systematic reviews that telerehabilitation is not inferior than other therapies or techniques. And also, one of the greatest evidence, one technique with such a great evidence as the constraint-induced movement therapy is also trying new programs of telerehabilitation in their patients. Also, there has to be said that there's a lack of evidence in how to do an heterogeneous program of telerehabilitation, also the frequency and the number of sessions. Now, let's talk about the RehabGym. The concept is defined as a network of modular rehabilitation technologies that are complementary and interconnect within a common daily digital therapy. Sorry. This is a picture, it's a mode picture. It's not the ones that we use at the clinic. It comes from a paper. The concept encompasses different technologies depending on the patient's profile, allowing the devices to be adjusted and exchanged according to the patient's abilities, thus working on the recovery, functional goals maintenance, and maximizing independence. 70% of the people who work at home end up abandoning these tasks due to a lack of perseverance and motivation. To avoid this situation and ensure the best results, we will follow 3 points. First, getting in the game. Second, sticking with it. And third, continuing or moving on. Let's go to the first one. Getting in the game is the setup according to the characteristics of the user and the device, and it will take into account factors such as age, previous experience with technology, both for professionals and users, and fit the device at home. Second, sticking with it. Once the device and the work at home are set, we have to work and must keep the patient motivated. For it, we will vary the difficulty of the games. We will work for a social interaction and establish daily routine, and also getting meaningful outcomes and performance-based feedback. And last one, continuing or moving on. Last stage of telerehabilitation, where you must choose between continuing training at home, varying to other devices or not, and finish telerehabilitation and resume to other activities. The concept of RehabGym starts here at the hospital or at the clinic, where the patient profile is assessed and which the technology can be most useful and fits better to the patient's profile, and to work on the rehabilitation of their abilities. I put here in the square two of the main concepts, and the main big parts of the concept is patient profile, because there's no patients that look alike, and family. The family is the key point. The family that will be present during the telerehabilitation sessions must be present during the clinical sessions. Why? Because they both will be instructed on the setup of the device, how to use it. You will give a user's guide how to use it, if some internet settings, problems with calibration, how to video call, person's position, security. So the patient is really important. Also to social interaction. We will see some videos after this, this page, that I didn't take out the audio because I want you to hear the patient motivating, the family motivating the patient to do it better, to do it good. So we'll get like a bond between them. The professional and the patient are connected through the cloud. And they will, the professional will be able to see the evolution of the patient's results, its statistics, the sessions carried out, and supervise them live by Zoom, Microsoft Teams. Well, nowadays we have plenty of systems that can do video calls. Well, here's an example of two of my colleagues supervising a telerehabilitation session. Also, we can see here what she's doing, and here, we'll see her. And we can advise her, for example, to clean her room more, because we need security, to not step, to don't fall, precaution. And we can give her some feedback, like she's doing really well. Also, if she has some impairments or some problems right in the moment, we can change them. For example, I cannot reach to some corner. This exercise is too difficult. Well, we are connected in that moment, so let me change it. Hold on, one moment. It can be done in the moment. And now let's talk about what we have at our clinic. We have 5 devices that can be exchanged between each other depending on the patient's profile and the patient's abilities. And it can be exchanged because imagine we have developed to more difficult exercise or devices. Hold on. Okay. First one, it will be the Armeo Senso. All of them are very young. It's a device which has 4 sensors, 3 located on the arm and 1 on the body, which works with a system of feedback based on quantity and quality. So you will get the target or the goal to catch and get all the coins, or catch all the rubbish, or explode all the balloons. And then the quality, because the sensor in the body will not let you compensate. So as soon as you do not wrong, but compensate movement, is not the perfect quality. Well, I was talking, but the guy in the back, his father was telling him that he was doing really well. He was encouraging him. Also in the right corner, left corner. Okay, now we have the grip able. The grip able is also a device that works like Armeo Senso does, with a system of feedback based on quantity and quality. It's only for hand and forehand, and it works only with one sensor that looks like a Nintendo Wii remote. And it's for movements like grasping, releasing, pronation, supination, this radius and cubital deviation, extension. So all the movement that you can do with your hand and your forehand. It also has a system that lets you do the exercise more difficult and keep developing and keep encourage yourself and challenging yourself. Well, laughing because he couldn't shoot the arrow to the bird. Okay. Now, okay. Now we have the Evolve. The Evolve is a system, is a device that works with a Kinect that captures your body movements and turns it into an avatar. And also is a system of feedback which works with quality and quantity. And you can do many movements, you can work many components like body control, steps to the side, steps to the front, steps to the back, reach somewhere, balance, standing up, transferring your weight to one leg to the other. Well, the woman in the right, that's the one that we were talking about in these two past sessions. Now she's in the last stage of her rehabilitation about independence and autonomy, and working and leading to do another activities. We already finished the clinical part, and now we are starting the path to go to again to her life, stopping working step by step. Well. Then we have Ephora. Ephora is the photo in the right corner. It's an application, phone application, that has many exercises with their videos and a brief explanation where the therapist, once you finish the exercise at the clinic, the therapy at the clinic, you have exercise to do at home, and you can work components as activities of daily living, upper limb or lower limb, and the professional will set the exercise that you have to do Monday to Sunday, Monday to Friday, and every day you will get a notification on which activities you have to do, and just do them. Oops, sorry. Can you click on the videos on the right, left? Sorry, the two videos that are together. I don't know if it can be possible. Well, I will be talking about it. Sorry. And the last one is the Hero Glove. The Hero Glove. Well, the videos I had to click on them, but I can't. It's a prototype robotic glove that was loaned to patients to use it at home as a means of helping them close and open their hands to perform various activities. For example, activities of daily living. In the first video in the right, well, he was grasping a lemon and carrying it to the kitchen counter to cut it and to do cooking. And the second video, the one in the left, he was in the bathroom, in the restroom, and he had to wipe his hands. So he opened the closet, grasped a towel, and wiped his hands. And thanks you for listening.
Thank you very much. Any questions? So I would like to ask something. How easy is telerehabilitation for older patients, especially patients with stroke or cognitive decline? Because older patients are not so familiar with technology, like children or young patients.
That's one of the not disadvantages, but the problems. That's why we do the setup. We teach them how to use the device at home. We teach them at the clinic, and we do first an assessment to see if they like the device. If they don't like it, we will not use it, because why would you do something that you don't like? So we'll try to do something else. Okay. If for example, the Armeo he doesn't like, maybe we'll try with Ephora, with videos that normally for elder people works more the works with way that they, instead of technology. So we first do an assessment.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for the presentation. It's really interesting. And also I was wondering, do you know if the system that you use to provide the rehabilitation therapy to these patients are able to gather measurements from the patients? So if they can gather other information in order to assess their progress, for example?
Yes, they all have statistics to see the results, the improvement results, so the statistics, the graphics. So first we'll do an assessment with our assessments, and then the devices have their own specific evaluations, because for the calibration they're needed to see what are the range of movement, also the limitations of the movement. So you will have during the process a comparison between each graphics.
And do you know if any of these measurements provided by the devices are correlated to more functional scales, or they are just their measurements?
Well, normally, for example, in Armeo Senso, it's correlated. For example, as long as you start move your arm better and getting more apart from your body and start lifting, it correlates to the Fugel measure, for example. Also in the Evolve, if you start standing up and doing some steps, it correlates to the Berg balance scale. So are more or less connected. Also, Fugel measure and Berg, it will be, I will say that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.